Are you recording now? Okay, wait. Okay, ready. Okay. So this happened around 2:07 p.m. So we were getting ready to go to the store, and Mom was letting the dogs out, and she noticed like these two wildish pit bulls outside. So she let the dogs back in. And after she had let the dogs back inside, she told us to get ready and be careful because like the pit bulls were like kind of they were down the street. Like they were pretty far down. So we were still gonna go to the store. Then I was on my way outside, and my dad and my mom had already like gotten in a fight or whatever, and they had previously like been ignoring each other because of yesterday, because I got in a fight yesterday on Christmas because my mom and my grandma wanted us to go to the thingy, and my dad said no, whatever. And so they were still in that fight, never forgave each other, never talked about it. So a couple of minutes passed. I got ready. I walked outside, and the two pit bulls were kind of like down there, and I was going to go walk towards the car. So the pit bulls started like walking up towards us, and like I don't really know how far away they were, but they were pretty close. And I wasn't that scared because they didn't seem very vicious or whatever. They didn't seem like too vicious or anything. So what had happened was Mom was screaming and yelling, and Mason was screaming and yelling at the dogs to try to get them to go because they were coming towards me on the porch. They were already in our yard. Both of them were. And I started coming towards us, so I like shut the door behind. Well, I didn't. Okay, I didn't shut the door behind me when I knew the pit bulls were there. I shut the door because I walked outside. This was before I knew the pit bulls were there. So the door was shut and locked, and my brother was screaming at the pit bulls to try to get him away. My dad was pounding on the window to try to get my brother to stop screaming. After my brother was like screaming and stuff, my dad came out and fired 2 rounds to try to scare away the dogs. They were like screaming and yelling, and like my dad took his gun and fired twice um into the ground, and then my dad started cussing at me to get the F inside. I got some of it on video, but and then he was like, "You should have been pounding on the door," because he didn't hear me because he had his counseling headphones in. Then he's like turning it all on me. He's like, "You should have pounded through the effing door. You should have pounded." And like my mom was like, "She was pounding," and like so that whole thing happened. So then I was sitting there like shaking because my anxiety was through the roof at that point. Um, so then somebody called the cops. The cops got here. We each got a big piece of paper we had to fill out on what happened, and our dad told us to fill it out the way that he wanted to fill it out to make it look like he wasn't in trouble. So he told us to fill it out. My mom said that the dogs were growling. The dogs were never growling. I was outside when it happened. The dogs were never growling. My mom was literally in the car. Um, my mom was lying to protect my dad, which is something that really irritates me because, like, what does he do good for us anyway? And the dogs ran away. Dad told me to get the F inside, and the boys and my mom left. Connor or Mason and my mom left to go to the store. Shortly after we got home, my mom gave me my ice drinks, put them in the fridge, or I put them in my mini fridge. Then the cops got here, had a long talk with my dad. That garlic bread looks mad bosom. Give me a bite. Thank you. But anyway, they had like a long talk with my dad. My dad was twisting the story, saying that they tried to attack me, and they didn't. They were pretty like friendly. Then they were saying like, "Oh my god," like whatever. And one of the police officers' name was Dave. I don't know his last name, but one of the police officers' name was like Dave or whatever. And Dad's like, Dave's effing useless. Like, he doesn't. That's why I told you. He made us. So he shot the gun off 2 times. He told us to write down in our paperwork that we shot the gun off. That he shot the gun off 1 time. So he tried to make us lie to make it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. So then he got on the phone with like somebody who runs his license, and he was like telling the whole wrong story again. And yeah, it was like. And then they were saying that my dad might have to go to court, and then I have to testify against like my side of the story, which that time I'm like, he's probably not going to be there. Even if he is in there, like, I'm going to sing like a bird because That's just no. I'm gonna tell him that he lied. He made us. Because he freaking threatened us to put down the paperwork. Like, he told us that if we didn't do it, like, you know. Well, I don't know if he threatened us, but he scared me into doing it, just so he wouldn't get in trouble. So then he got on the phone with the people who runs his thing. He got on the phone with somebody who runs the apartment or his license thingies, and then was like twisting a story and trying to get a lawyer or something or an attorney, whatever. But yeah, and then hold on, Kari's texting me. But yeah, so the cops, they didn't talk to me. I kind of talked to them, but like that was just to get the paper. I didn't really talk to any of them. I got a paper, so talk to him or not. And I never signed the paperwork. I made sure I didn't sign it because Dad kept was like, hurry up, come on, hurry up, get the paperwork done, come on, like what I said fast, come on, you know. And I never signed off on it on purpose. He read it and then he makes sure I had the date on there, and the signature's at the bottom. He didn't make sure that I had the signature, but I know I didn't sign the paper. I did put my name, but I didn't sign it where it says sign. So, which was stupid because A, he shot the gun twice, and the reason why the cops were called was because A, there was a gunshot in in county limits, and that's already a charge. So I don't know if he got charged with anything. I know he's has to go somewhere with us. I don't know if he has to take us or not, but yeah, I'm done with him. Then there was part of me who really just wanted to walk outside and tell the cops everything that actually happened. So, but yeah, it was a lot. I'm just glad that Coco walked me through it in a way. She was texting me on Be Real, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, she made me feel a lot more, you know. But